Hello again, Mrs. Bennett here. Today we are going to finish our discussion on lesson 4.7, congruency theorems for triangles. We've done side, 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 angle, angle, and angle, angle, side at this point. So there is one I want to point out that does not work, and that is angle, side, side. And this one does not work, and I'm going to demonstrate in the diagram below. But you can maybe remember because it does spell a bad word. Yikes. If I use this one, I usually say side, side, angle, so that I'm not spelling the bad word. But either way, it does not work. Now, here is why. If you look carefully at our drawing here, you can see that I have an angle A on both sides, or on all three triangles. And then I have side AB marked as given. So if I have the second side here, BC, marked as a given that they're congruent to all three, you can see that because we don't know angle B, side BC can sort of swing out at any angle he wants to. So if I have angle side, side, look at this tiny little angle right here compared to angle side, side of this really large angle right here. And that's because that third side can swing out because his angle isn't marked. So this one will not work. Okay, we have one last one that will work. And that is one that specifically works for right triangles only. And we know in right triangles that across from the right angle is our hypotenuse, also known as C. And then we have two legs, also known as A and B. And then you guys know from previous math classes and this one, the Pythagorean theorem. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And basically, if I know two sides of the right triangle, I can solve this for the third side. So if I know two sides, so a hypotenuse and a leg, then I can always solve for the third side. Okay, so in hypotenuse leg congruence theorem, which is called HL for short, if you know the hypotenuse, which we are going to call H from now on, and a leg of a right triangle are congruent to the hypotenuse and a leg of a second right triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. And just as before, I'm going to name these ABC and XYZ. But I'm also going to name them hypotenuse and leg. So I have H for hypotenuse. We'll call them H1 and H2. I have leg 1, leg 2. Those are the ones I'm going to mark. Okay, so if triangle ABC and triangle XYZ are right, that's the first thing you got to check. And in the triangles, the hypotenuse, so in the first one, the hypotenuse is side BC, is congruent to the hypotenuse of the second one, which is side YZ. And then leg, now I just chose this leg, it could be either leg. Leg AB is congruent to leg XY. Then I know that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle XYZ. And that is because Pythagorean theorem. If I know two of the sides, I can solve the third one. Okay, so as before, I'd like you to try the two examples below. Pause your video while you do that, and then restart your video to check your answers. Okay, is it possible to show that the two triangles are congruent by hypotenuse leg? If so, which triangles are congruent? Well, the first thing we check is, do we have right angles or right triangles? And this one is a no. These are not right triangles. Hopefully you got that one right. In the second example, is it possible to show that these two triangles are congruent by hypotenuse leg? If so, which triangles are congruent? Okay, so first I have, I'm missing things again. Let's do I and J for labels. Okay, so I have triangle GHI and triangle IJG are right. So I can move on. And then I have side GJ is congruent with side IH. And that is marked with this tick mark, so that's given. And then I have right here GI is shared on both triangles. So GI is congruent with side IG for the other triangle. And that is by the reflexive property. So I have hypotenuse and leg. So triangle GHI is congruent to triangle IJG by hypotenuse leg. And then this is just a friendly reminder that you can't just add markings to your diagram. You need a math reason. Okay, that concludes our lesson for 4.7. Do your practice and make sure that you ask questions if you need to.